Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm your host, Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about how much you should focus on your competitor. So, Neil, why don't you kick things off?
Sure. I actually don't focus on competitors too much. I know a lot of people are like, oh, my competitor did this, or oh, they raised money. What are we going to do? And they worry about so many small details. When you're starting up a company, you have to keep one thing in mind. The market is usually huge. If it's not, you're probably picking a niche you shouldn't have entered in the first place. But look at it this way. There's Coca-Cola and there's Pepsi. There's usually even a third player. I forgot what it's called. There's a ton of, smaller ones, but Coca-Cola and Pepsi take the majority of the market. There's Uber, there's Lyft. There's Airbnb, there's HomeAway, Priceline, etc., right? There's Priceline, Expedia, Airlines. There's Delta Airlines, there's American Airlines, there's Emirates, there's United. The list keeps going on and on. The point I'm trying to make is there's more than enough room than one player in the space. Sure, it'll be great to be number one, but you know what? You can't always be number one. And if you're making enough money as number two or number three or number four, that's better than making nothing. So for me, when I'm starting off really early, yes, I do look at my competition, but it's not on a daily basis. I just keep track of them on a monthly basis, just seeing what they're doing. If I see them all over the place, I may make some knee-jerk reactions, but it's very rarely. I usually just keep going on the normal trajectory that we're going at and the normal plan, especially when things are going well.
I think once you get to a certain point, you might look at them a little more often, but still, you're not going to be thinking about them every single day, thinking about what they're doing exactly, because that's counterproductive. You're trying to build your own business, and you have your own spin on it at the end of the day. So I guess we can get a little tactical here and talk about what we do when we actually look at competitors. But my response is basically the same here. I don't have much to add beyond the fact that, hey, you should focus on yourself a lot more and focus on adding value to your audience because your competitor is completely different. But I mean, if we're starting out, one tool that you can use that I've talked about, you can use SEMrush. Allows you to look at your competitors' top pages. You can see what keywords they're ranking for and what they're doing exactly. Because if you see that they have pages that are ranking for a couple thousand keywords and you're not at that level yet, maybe there's something there. Right? Maybe they're doing these resource pages that are super epic and they spend a lot of money on it. You don't know until you actually take a peek at kind of what's going on. And SEMrush is going to allow you to see keyword data, how many keywords they're ranking for, what kind of ads they're running. If you want to get a little more complex, you can probably use a tool like AdBeat. AdBeat's going to show you, across the web kind of how much they're spending, what types of media they're running on what kind of publishers, and it can get a little more granular. And you can also look at categories too. So that's kind of how you can get started with the competitive analysis portion. But I think we're both on the same page here and, really drilling it down. Don't focus on your competitors too much.
The biggest mistake I made is not paying attention to product or market shifts that my competitors have made. And this has cost me hundreds of millions of dollars in the long run. So, for example, if you see a new wave, a new trend, let's say it's mobile, and your competitors are pushing their product into the mobile space or the mobile landscape and you're not, eventually, not only are they going to gobble up that market, but they're going to have this brand where everyone knows them for, hey, yeah, they also have this solution for mobile, and your company doesn't, right? So when you start seeing market shifts and trends going like everyone's jumping into mobile, make sure when your competitors do that, don't get left behind. That's a really important trend, and that's when you push your marketing messaging really hard to making sure that you're not being left behind. But in general, don't pay attention to the small things like, oh, they wrote this blog post and it went viral and our content hasn't gone as viral. Yeah, you can dig into it and look at what they're doing that's causing their content marketing to be doing better than yours, but you need to be paying attention to major trends. Like, where's their roadmap? Where are they going? Is that aligning with your customer base? If it is, then, hey, there could be an issue because your customers may eventually switch to a different person's product or service or whatever it may be because they're providing something that your customers want and you're not providing. And when you see your competition making a major shift like that, don't just assume that you should also be making it. Talk to your customers. Let them know, hey, this is what we're thinking. We're thinking about making this shift with our service, our product. What do you guys think about this? Where do you see the future going? What would you like us to do that we're not doing? In essence, if you're talking with your customers on a regular basis and you're continually adapting, you won't have to worry about your competition as much. But if you're not talking with your customers, you'll start seeing your competitors doing stuff, and you could be missing a big boat by not doing that, right? But in essence, a way to prevent this is not really to look at your competitors as much. It's more so to talk to your customers.
The one thing I will say, this happened actually fairly recently. I thought we were about to, lock in a new client, and it turns out this client actually turned around and signed with a competitor. And the feedback I got was really helpful because they were looking for a proposal that was more detailed. Now, here's what I will say, us as an agency, I guess this is a completely different subject, but for us, we don't like to do a lot of the legwork for free. We don't believe in that. We like to, if we're going to do a strategy for a prospective client, we actually charge for that. So in this case, he said, their proposal was a lot more detailed. But, my point here is that, when I found out that we lost to a competitor, that got me to at least, take a look at what we had going on and, to see if we needed to make any adjustments. It wasn't any type of knee-jerk reaction, but we still needed to at least, reevaluate a little bit to see, what we could have done to fix it. And, hopefully this is something that we will continue to adjust in the future.
Most people think of it as, hey, what are my competitors doing on a daily or monthly basis? And that's fine. If you want to do that, you can do that. But when you think about your competitors and you just keep monitoring them, you're playing a game of catch-up. I don't like playing a game of catch-up. What I like doing is look at the market instead, not just your competitors, but your market, the customers. What do they want? What's the future? What's happening? How can we create the next best thing that they'll love, right? Before they can even think of it. If you start thinking in advance and you start making changes to your businesses ahead of time, you're much more likely to beat your competitors than if you're just analyzing your competitors each and every single day and be like, oh, my competitors built 5 links. We need to build 10 backlinks now, right? That's not the right mindset. The mindset should be, where's the market going? How can we satisfy our customers better? And what should we be doing to make them extremely happy in the long run so they'll never leave?
Love it. I think that's it for this episode of Marketing School. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you in tomorrow's.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.